The Daily Mail. Padilla's fake crying routine. Alex Padilla ridiculed for fake crying after dramatic arrest at Ice Barbie Christine Home event. Why does Daily Mail keep calling her that? That's so weird.
I was forced to the ground.
This is super
Theater kids are as if he didn't like it.
On my knees.
And then flat on my chest.
Yo,
Graham's nipples are tingling.
Hey guys, it's the first time homie's ever been arrested.
And
It's millionaires being like, oh, he touched me.
and marched down a hallway, repeatedly asking, why am I being detained? Not once did they tell me why.
And they don't have to.
I pray you never have a moment like this.
God, like,
But I
you
will
would
tell
have
you,
thought he was sent to
In that
Guantanamo.
moment, a lot of questions came to my
Unreal.
mind.
This guy is softer than cookie dough.
First of all, where are they taking me? Because I know I'm not just being escorted out of the building.
This is my favorite part.
Am I being arrested here?
Yo, I don't think this guy has ever lifted a heavy object in his life.
No. This is why theater kids are a plague. They have nothing but their community theater routine and emotional manipulation. He needs to go back to acting school.
Democrats are so
Yo, there's
deep-
like every inner city kid right now is being like, I was mercilessly beaten by my teacher, or like there was a janitor that would crack me over the head with a stick, or gangbangers shot at my house. And he's like, he grabbed my arm, and I said, why am I being detained? And he wouldn't tell me. And I'm like, is that the worst thing that's ever happened to you, dude? I pray this never happens to you. What? Actually, I hope it happens to a lot of people, because otherwise they're gonna end up soft like this guy.
He planned it initially when he went in there to try and talk to Kirsty Noem. He approached the podium or whatever aggressively with the intent to get the Secret Service
While yelling at her.
to act. Yeah, of course. To get the Secret
And he
Service to
resisted.
act, so that way he could get the. He did it for the Instagram. He did it for the gram. And the whole point is just so that way he can do more of this, making content. It's crazy that politicians don't like try to actually do their job. They try to make content like YouTubers because that's how they get their name out there. That's how they get
They learn from AOC, man.
attention.
So,
exactly.
there
This
must
is
be
what
some-
Carl Benjamin's point is about democracy, though, isn't it? that, that the incentives, I mean, you could argue that these are the incentives that present him with the advent of social media, the advent of virality. So the person who goes viral gets more attention. You get more attention, you get more eyeballs. You get more eyeballs, you get more money. You get more money, you make more of a splash. You're able to get more votes. And so, therefore, he's just following his own political incentives in a state like California, by the way, for doing something like this. This is also why Gavin Newsom was trying to get arrested for a while last week. This is why
true,
what was the
he
guy's name?
was.
Brad Lander and then Raz Baraka.
Raz Baraka did it, and then Brad Lander did it. Again, they're just following there. And wasn't Raz Baraka also running for mayor?
He's running for governor. of New
Governor,
Jersey.
thank you.
He's
He was
currently
running for
mayor
governor.
of Newark.
He's currently mayor running for governor. Thank you.
And it's this posturing, and I think you were spot on. The incentive structure here is unfortunately, the fact is that we're not talking about any other senators. Which Democrats did we talk about tonight? Alex Padilla and Brad Lander. It's two Democrats, getting arrested for photo ops. That's who gets featured on Timcast IRL. Not only Timcast IRL, obviously, but these other news networks.
So in sort of online parlance, we used to call this stunt queening. Tim Pool famously never stunt queened that I can think of off the top of my head.
Have you ever stunt queen, Jeff?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah.
Good.
I did Shakespeare in the Park. What are you talking about?
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
I wanted to hear you say it.
No, I did plenty of stunt queening.
American History X.
No. Whoa. That's classified. But there is not a great shelf life for it. I'll put it that way. As someone who's dabbled in a few infamous stunt queening incidents, that you can't do it forever. You can't keep going to that well eventually, because the problem is with stunt queening, and if you create that as your incentive structure for your business or in this case politics, you always have to keep one-upping one another. So eventually this is going to get passé and people say, oh, another Democrat got arrested, whatever. Yeah, I saw that. And eventually someone's going to say, okay, well, okay, I don't want to say that online. on air, but I've got to do something I'm going to provoke something to me that is worse than just getting arrested. I'm not going to. We're on YouTube, so I'm not going to say it. But you know what I'm trying to say? They're going to keep escalating, moving up the escalatory ladder over. Oh my gosh, did you see what happened now? Pepper sprayed or maced or whatever. Got thrown someone actually gets thrown to the ground like that. I saw that. Like, he didn't get thrown to the ground, bro. And don't act like he didn't like it, because he clearly did. And he's like smiling the whole way. He's like, this is going to go viral. It's going to be great.
They want their Bernie Sanders photo op.
Yeah,
so
they
in
want
20
all
some
that.
odd years when they run for something, it's like, oh, look, I was on the front lines fighting. When you weren't fighting for anything, you were fighting to get yourself in the newspapers.
They want their AOC sobbing in front of the.
Yeah, and please, Bernie Sanders, like, you're literally from like the ethno state of New England, where it's like the whitest part of the entire country, and they're like, well, why is crime so low up there? It must be because of our policies. It's like, yeah, okay, bro.
Something like that.
There's got to be some community theater somewhere where they're discovering all of these Democrat politicians, like the George Soros Playhouse or something. And that's where Cory Booker comes from. That's where these guys come from.
There were stories that AOC was essentially selected through an audition process
At the Justice Democrats.
Yeah, the Justice Democrats.
I
Like, they held
forgot about
open auditions in their Chakrabarty, I think was the guy's name. And in the Justice Democrats, and he was really good. Like, he was really, really
Not good, effective.
Really effective at what he did. And when that relationship was separated, that's really when AOC became rudderless, as she is now. That he was very, very effective at what he did, and she was a great deliverer of his material. And then up until the point where, definitely a much more effective operator when she had someone like that behind her. But then when she switched over to whoever Pelosi's team is, it's just, and Jeffries, they're just awful. They're absolutely awful.
This is the best opposition they could muster up for President Trump. This is their way
policies.
of fighting back.
This is still a symptom of them having absolutely no policies and no idea whether or not they should go after the progressives or go after regular Democrats.
I just keep
No,
going
they're like,
back.
just go on camera and scream.
I just keep going back. They're 55% support for mass deportations. Something that if you went back 4 years, 3 years from now, and asked people that question, you have nowhere near that level of support. This absolutely is okay. Whether Trump makes a strike, whether he doesn't make the strike in Iran, we're all kind of, on a razor's edge about that. But while cable news isn't looking, wouldn't it be amazing if 20 million illegals just poof and disappeared all in one fell swoop, and then, oh, where did all the illegals go? So and Tom Homan's like, I don't know. They were here. Now they're gone, and we had a problem with them, and now we don't have a problem anymore, and we could just go about our lives. And it's really a time where I would say full speed ahead, Mr. President, on this. Full speed ahead, Stephen Miller. I trust Stephen Miller on this. It's like something goes on. I don't know what's happening. I read Stephen Miller's tweets. I trust the plan.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't even have to, like, I don't know that it's trusting Stephen Miller as a person. I just trust that he wants to actually deport people. It's not like you don't have to like
This
Stephen
Miller guy's been rock solid on the immigration.
He's been 100% rock solid. He's been consistent, and he's the guy that thankfully is actually in charge of immigration policy in the Trump administration, or at least that's the way it seems. And it's good, because that's the policy that everybody that voted for Trump voted for. If you voted for Trump because of immigration, you voted for deportations, and the popularity of deportations hasn't significantly changed since he was elected.
That's why I don't know what message they could even run on. It's like they have no unifying message. If they run another presidential election on Orange Man bad, that will be 4 presidential elections.
There might not even be Orange Man in it.
They'll still be talking about him.
You know what I think? On X, all the people who respond to you, probably half, are just bots. And the best way to figure it out is that you just post sarcasm and they can't understand it. And I think AI bots and foreign sock puppet accounts don't understand either sarcasm through a language filter, or the bot doesn't understand sarcasm. And so I find that's a great way when dealing with these issues to see if people actually care, is to be sarcastic about it. And then you can see all the malfunctioning bots and lunatics. Democrats are operating to appease those people. They have a simple worldview where if the crowd says it, it is. So they go on social media and they look for social media validation. And if they get it, they'll continue down that path. But if they're being validated by bots and foreigners, then they have no coherent policy or anything. It's just going to be, he posts this video, it gets viral. He gets positive reinforcement from bot accounts and from foreign, individuals and very few real people, and he'll keep doing it.
I'm so sick of these people.
Well, I mean, this is the future of politics. Though. There's no incentive to change this. Yeah. This guy's
unless it stops being effective.
Well, I mean,
which I hope people are starting to see through the.
Yes and no, right? Yeah. So this guy's running for, he is a senator in California, so that can work in California. But I've always argued that Gavin Newsom doesn't scale. I don't actually see Gavin Newsom as being a successful candidate nationwide because of his policies and because a lot of these floated AstroTurf bases don't actually give you that broad appeal that you would need to run as a national candidate for office. I see a few contenders on the Democrat side. I'm not going to give them the benefit of me saying who I think would be most dangerous to run against, whether it be J.D. Vance or whoever else in 28. Not AOC, though, of course. Please do run AOC, or please do run Gavin Newsom. I really hope they do. But when you look at, this issue, look, Kamala Harris had way more money than Trump. Hillary Clinton had more money than Trump. He's consistently performed well against candidates that were very well funded, extremely more funded than he was. And what made Trump possible to be elected was the broad-based appeal and his ability, again, to put together this coalition.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.